Hi everyone and happy Thursday. I decided to jump back on because the first time we did this video, for some reason, sound was cutting in and out, and I wanted you to have a good quality video in case you wanted to recreate this card. So today we are going to do a crossover gatefold card, and I have two different ideas to share with you. We're going to make one card from beginning to end. The second card I have partially done, but it's done a little bit differently as far as the crossover goes. So I thought I would show you that one too. Now, tomorrow I will have a downloadable PDF for you with the link right down below in my video description, where you'll be able to go over and download a PDF with instructions, supplies, measurements, and be able to recreate this card. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you were with me earlier, I'm not sure what happened with the sound. I'm going to blame it on StreamYard because it kept going in and out. So I wanted to try this again for you. So let's stop talking and start doing this crossover gatefold. All right, so for this card, I am using the Love and Strength, some of the greetings and the image from, this was in the very back of the new mini catalog that came out. I really love this floral image, and I'm also going to be using two dies from the Everyday Details, and I'm using the second largest and the second smallest circle dies. And the rest of the card is actually really pretty simple. So let's move this off. I do want to show you the paper. We're using the Regal Winter 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. Really rich, beautiful colors. Cherry Cobbler, Blackberry Bliss, Wild Wheat, Night and Navy. I think there's Misty Moonlight in here. So really, really pretty. And we're going to be using this one. And there's if you turn these over, which I didn't, you have some watercolor images, some floral images that are monochromatic in reds and blues, and then some, I don't know, I guess plaids. And we're going to be using this one. So let's get started with this. So our first card, we're going to use Cherry Cobbler. And this is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. Now, 6 3/8 is, if you turn it over, it's 2 1/8 on each end. So whichever is easier for you to remember. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold and a mountain fold on both sides, and we're going to burnish. Now this is dark cardstock, and if you burnish, sometimes you can leave a white mark as you're burnishing, and I don't want that on the front of my card, so I flip mine over. The other thing you can do is take a piece of copy paper or typing paper and just cover the edge and then go ahead and burnish. So this is the gatefold card. Now, we're going to go next, and we are going to add a layer of Designer Series paper to each of these folds. Now, this measures, what does that measure? I think it is 1 7/8, it is, by 5 1/4. So you could easily do 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to look just the same. So for those of you that don't like ace, by all means, go to 1 3/4. So we're going to just go ahead and add this here. And I just want to make sure that I get a nice edge all the way around. And that looks pretty good. Now let's add this one to the other side. And we're going to go ahead and add that. Now, after I add these corners, we're going to go ahead and do our inside first. Now, I want to try to get these as even as possible. So I am going to close my card so that I can match up the bottom and the top. And that looks pretty darn good. So we're going to go with that. All right, now for our inside is a piece of 4 by 5 1/4. And I already got it partially ready. I added a strip of designer series paper. You're using 2 patterns of paper for this card. And I did a 1/4 inch strip on a 3/8 inch strip of cherry cobbler. And I want to go ahead and add a greeting. And the greeting I'm adding is from that stamp set I showed you, which is Love and Strength. And it says, "It's okay if all you did today was breathe." And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with my Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And we're going to stamp that. So I think this is such pretty paper and just so, I guess regal looking is a good word. So there is our greeting. And let's adhere this to the inside of our card. Okay, now for the front, we're ready to do our crossover. This is a really easy fun fold. It is one that truly displays your designer series paper and is quick to make. You can make several of these at one time if you wanted to. I'm just going to straighten this out a little bit and we're good. All right, so here's our inside. Now we're ready to create that crossover to this gatefold. And to do that, we're going to use 2 pieces of white, basic white, and these are 2 by 4, and then 2 pieces of designer series paper. And I actually used a second pattern, and these are 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now, if you have a pattern paper that is directional, be just mindful in cutting it because these are going to run this way. So you don't want your flowers upside down if you had one that was directional. This one actually seems to be okay for any direction. But I did want to bring that up to you in case you had one, decided to use one that had a direction pattern to it, or a pattern with a direction to it. So there's that. Let's add our other one. And then we're going to adhere these to the front of our gatefold. So with this one, I'm going to go ahead and that looks pretty good. Now, again, these are 1/4 inches. If you don't like 1/4 inches and you want less of a border, cut them in 1/8. So to adhere these, we are ready to add them. So to add the top one, you want to line the edge of the cardstock or the layer with the top and along the side. So you're only going to add your adhesive from the middle over. So to do that, I am going to use, I like to use sticky notes and just kind of put this on top and then flip this over, and I can see where I need to stop with my adhesive. And I am using multi-purpose glue. So we're going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I pulled it off, but I'm going to go ahead and add this and line it up. Okay, that looks good, and you can see we have no adhesive here. Now, for the bottom one, we're going to do the same. We're going to match it up, bottom edge of the designer series paper with the side edge of the designer series paper. And I am going to use my little Post-it note here. And I didn't get a very good fold on that. Didn't come together, but we'll make it work. So this is going to go here. And I just want to take it to that Post-it note, and we're going to add it just like we did our top crossover panel, our top panel. And I want to make sure that's straight, so I am going to pull that off, and there we go. So here's our crossover panels. Now I want to add something here. I don't want to leave this. So I have the second largest of the circles that I showed you from the Everyday Details dies. Now I thought it would be really pretty to stamp that floral image from the stamp set, and I'm going to do it in Cherry Cobbler. So I'm going to ink this up. That looks pretty good, and I'm just going to come in and stamp right over the circle, right in the center. And I'm going to close this up so I don't wear it and get it on the card. But look at that image. Isn't that just beautiful? I just love the detail in it. So this we're going to pop up. Now, you could pop it up part way. You can also pop it up a little bit higher so that this tucks behind there and keeps your card closed. Again, you only want to get adhesive, and you could use tape runner or multi-purpose glue. I'm going to use dimensionals on this and pop it up a little higher. And I just want to mark at what point not to go past for those dimensionals. And I can see right through there. So I'm going to use my large dimensionals, and I'm just going to put one on each edge here. And hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to pop one in the center. I'm just going to be a little bit extra cautious here. So let's pull these off. Did that come off? That actually did not. Okay. So for adhering that, oh, look at that. I popped them up on the wrong side. So let's peel these off, and we can do that. I hate wasting them, but that's okay. Let's get that off. And let's get that off. Okay. So what I want to do is pop that on like that. So I am going to add my dimensionals, but I'm not going to go past here. So let's do that now. Sorry about that. So I'm going to put that down, and we're just going to add some more dimensionals to the part that we don't want to get them. So I could have actually left those there. So let's do this. And then I'm going to add one right in the center. And we're going to go ahead and take these off again. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to turn this over. And you can see I'm going to leave this here because that's kind of where I'm going to line up not to add my, not to go past that line. So we're going to go right here. There we are. And here's our crossover. Now, I want to add a greeting. And for this, I did go ahead and put, even when your brain tells you otherwise, this is from the Love and Strength stamp set. And I thought it'd be cute to pop up in there. So we're going to use 2 dimensionals, and I'm going to pop that on right over that flower image. And have it kind of stand up a little bit. All right, so here's our card. Now I want to add a few, a little bit of bling to it. So I'm using the iridescent faceted gems, and they're just gorgeous. I'm hoping you can see them here. And I thought I would add some small ones, and I'm just going to use my pick tool, and I'm going to grab one here, put one down here, and let's take a big one and add it up here on that red flower. So here is our first of the crossover gatefold cards. And it just simply, isn't that pretty? And when it stands, you can see it kind of stands. I'm hoping you can see a little bit of it. It kind of stands and displays very pretty. So here's this one. Now let me show you the second one. And most of that one is done because it starts out with a card base that's the exact same as the cherry cobbler with the designer series paper. The only difference is this is Night and Navy, and I used basic white cardstock, and I dry embossed it with the exposed brick embossing folder. I went ahead and did my inside, and here I used Night and Navy and stamped the flower. This greeting is from the Country Birdhouse, hoping you have the best day ever. But for this card, our crossovers are 3 panels of basic white that measures 1/2 by 4 inches, and designer series paper that measures 1/4 by 3 3/4. Now these are going to adhere on here a little bit differently. So with these, I'm going to line them up again using the edge, the side and the top for my top and bottom. So let's go ahead and do this. And I am going to go back to my Post-it note and use that. They do get a lot of use. And I just want to adhere this right here. And this is another pattern of that designer series paper, which is just so pretty. And I want to make sure it's even with the top panels. So that looks pretty good. Let's straighten it out. There we go. Now we're going to add our bottom panel. And for this, it's going to adhere on the same side, on the left side. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to use my Post-it note again. And again, you're going to put glue on the side that does not have the Post-it note. And we're going to add this right here. Okay. Now this third panel is going to adhere opposite of these two. So it's in the middle and you want to center it as best you can, but you're going to adhere it on the right side. So now I'm going to take my Post-it note and just add it here. We're going to go ahead over and add our adhesive, whichever one you're going to use. I want to close this and I want to get it as close to the center so it's evenly spaced as possible. So let's do that. And right along the edge. And that looks pretty good. All right, so here is your crossover, but there's 3. Now I do want to add something to this. So I took a smaller, this is the second smallest of the Everyday Details dies, and all I did was stamp the word hello. And I took this from Everyday Greetings. Now you can use whatever greetings you want to. And you could put it over here, but you'd want to make sure you don't get it so it doesn't open. But I'm going to put it right here. This is just a really simple card. And I'm going to put it right in the middle, right across the middle here. And we're just going to go ahead and add that to our third panel. So with this, I'm gonna just set it here. Now you could add a bow, but I actually chose to add the, what am I using here? The opal round assortment. And these have night and navy. And I thought those would just kind of pop on the white. So let's pick up, I'm going to pick this up and we're going to add one right about here. And we're going to add another small one. And then I thought it'd be fun to add a big night and navy. Let's see if we can get this up here. And I'm going to add this right up here. So here is our second version of a crossover gatefold card, but this has 3. So let me bring these back to you. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think the sound went better than it probably did on the first one. I hope you'll give it a try. It's really fun. It really shows off your designer series paper, and it's a quick, fun fold to do. I hope you have a safe and wonderful weekend. I will be back with you on Monday evening for some more stamping fun. Have a great weekend, everybody.